crew has boarded. Passengers boarding starting.
Well, good afternoon folks, welcome back to my channel, and my name's Lee, your virtual airline pilot, and back with another review. I hope you enjoyed that little GSX montage there, show you what can be done with GSX and how well it works, and how I'm beginning to get the hang of it. Where are we? Well, we're in South America, and this is Rafael Nunez International Airport in Cartagena in Colombia. Sierra Kilo Charlie Golf. This is a payware scenery by FLY2HIGH, and we're looking at version 0.1.0 for the PC version of FlightSim 2020. The download is 1.21 gigs and it installs at 2.5 gigs. It's available from a variety of vendors including Orbix, AnyBuilds, FlightSim.to and Simmarket. I'll give you the Simmarket price because it includes tax. It's €17.99, which equates to roughly $19.20 US, or £15.52 UK. US and UK prices are all estimates from the euro, and they include tax and VAT at 20%, which may of course vary on the depending on the country or country of purchase. I will say there are discounts available on Simmarket if you have previously purchased other FLY2HIGH products. This is a nice scenery, I'll say right off the bat. It's really good. No jetways here, so people that use GSX Pro, you can see the full sort of gamut of what happens here. And the airport's really pleasant, sits in a very nice location here in South America, and well within reach of places in southern US, for example. Okay, so let's look at features. So features, we have an accurate simulation of the Cartagena airport here. Handmade ground textures, runways, aprons, paths and roads, accurately modelled and positioned dynamic airport lighting, and highly detailed models of all airport buildings, objects and surroundings, and they've optimised it for a good frame rate. Now I've been moving the drone camera around here quite easily with no real issues at all. It's just really fine, no problem that I can see at all really. So let's look at a bit of history. Okay, history. Rafael Nunez International Airport, Sierra Kilo Charlie Golf, is a public use international airport owned and operated by Sociedad Aeroportuaria de la Costa S.A., or simply SACSA. It serves the Caribbean port city of Cartagena in Colombia and is the largest airport in the country's northern Caribbean region in terms of passenger movement. The airport is located between the Caribbean coast and the Ciénaga de la Virgen Marsh, in the centre of Crespo, a neighbourhood in northern Cartagena. And I apologise for my pronunciation, I'll do my best. It is named after Cartagena native Rafael Nunez, the former Colombian president who wrote the verses to the national anthem of Colombia. Airlines including Air Transat, American Airlines, Avianca, Copa Airlines, JetBlue and LATAM Colombia have or had international flights to many cities in North, Central and South America. KLM and Edelweiss Airlines have flights from Amsterdam and Zurich by the way of Bogota, because the airline does not own rights to transport passengers solely between Cartagena and Bogota. The first flight took place on February 14, 1920, when pilot Judenet Jacques René Bazin flew his plane, known as Cartagena, around the city carrying two passengers, one Guillermo Ecravia Martinez Martello Tolita and the Queen of Carnival. 8 days later, a mail flight was made to the city of Barranquilla, marking the beginning of commercial aviation activity in the country. In 1930, the SCADTA, or Sociedad Colombo Alemana de Transportes Aéreos, built another airfield on the island of Manzanillo. By 1940, the company had become Avianca and continued operating from Manzanillo to various domestic destinations. In 1979, Cartagena had 99 flights a week, 55 of which were shared flights. Domestic and international were only 44 for the city. In 1982, a new passenger terminal was opened and the main runway extended to 2,600 feet, or 793 meters, with resurfacing and navigation leads installed valued at about $1.4 million. By the end of the year, new parking space for 250 private cars had been built, 14 parking days for tour buses, and an additional area for taxis and an access road to the city, all with new facilities expected to contribute to the growth of tourism in the city. Today, Rafael Nunez International Airport is the fourth largest airport in the country, and one of the largest in the Caribbean region, with some 20 airlines operating into and out of the airport, including at least one cargo carrier. So there you go, folks, that's a bit of history for you. Let's look at the runway situation here now. Okay, runways, so here we are. We've lowered the lighting to 6 PM local time. Nice for you to just see the sunset and enough light to see the lighting generally here on the runway. So Rafael Nunez Airport operates a single runway, 0119, measuring 7,841 feet or 2,390 meters. This is as per the May 23 Jefferson chart, and the runway is constructed from concrete. Other sources put this runway length at 8,530 feet or 2,600 meters, but the only dated source I've found is the Jefferson chart from Navigraph. Other sources at the moment can't be dated for verification. The airport lies at an elevation of just 7 feet or 1.1 meters and sits within the GMT UTC -5 hours time zone. Now, Colombia does not observe daylight saving time, or DST, and so the airport is currently 6 hours behind the UK. The UK currently being on British summer time, 1 hour ahead of UTC. So, the whole runway here, both ends, features high-intensity runway lighting and precision approach path indicators. Now, the charts notes don't actually show whether they're on one side or both. There's no indication on the chart. But of course, here in the scenery you can see PAPIs on both sides, which is always a help. So runway 01, and we're looking down the throat of it now, features a standard instrument landing system. You also have an RNP approach option and a VOR approach option. So you can see the runways pretty much as per. We've got a centre line here as well. Again, all of these additional things are helpful, even though they're not or don't seem to be mentioned on the chart. You've got end identifier lighting here too. Here's the high intensity lighting, and here you've got turn-offs because you taxi down the runway and take off over the sea. All rather nice. Let's have a quick look at the other end, runway 19. Okay, so here we are at the other end, runway 19, and there you can see a great big white X in front of you. And that's because you can't use this hard standing area, or it shouldn't be used for a takeoff. But as you can see here, there is turning options for you to taxi down the runway and turn around and take off in that direction, should you need to. For this runway, the approach options you have, basically you have an RNP approach option only. No instrument landing system, and as you can see, no lead-in lights at either end of the runway. Once again, we have PAPIs both sides, which also is a great help. So that does it for runways. No jetways at this airport, so let's get straight down to the airport itself during the day and have a good look at what we were being presented with here. Okay, so let's start a slow tour from the runway into the main terminal area on the left side. As you can see, we've got vehicles going onto the runway, which is a pity. It's something I don't really like, but in some cases they cross, but I just wish they would cross and get over with, really. Here you can see some of the ground signage. And here you've got some additional stands and parking area. But as you can see, the detail's really good. I mean, they've done a lovely job here. It looks really nice. The ground markings on the ramp are all as they should be. And here's the main ramp and the stands. And you can see they've got people walking inside the terminal as well, which you can see. And you've got a couple of people standing there. But all in all, you can see it's really nice. The detail is lovely. I can't see any sort of issues. It's very, very nice. And here you've got a couple of big hangars, big enough to park a jet inside. Various clutter around the airport here as a helicopter. Huge hangars there. And nicely done, nice detail. There's the airside fence. And the terrain looks good. So as we move slowly across to the other side of the airfield here, you've got more aircraft parking. I mean, to be honest, I do like all these vehicles. It's really nice. I just wish that they would cross the runway and not linger on the runway, which unfortunately do to some extent. But as you can see, the quality here is excellent. The detail's really good, even down to the fire engines. Oh, it's very nice. There's a fuel farm on the north side there, and here we've got a couple of statics. I mean, the quality is great. You've even got an engineer down there, which is brilliant. So here you can see some of the signage, and they're all on plinths. I mean, this is all quality. Nothing just stuck into the terrain, as it were. You've got your blue airfield edge lights as well. And see, that's what I don't like. Vehicles going down the runway. You should just cross over and that's it. So there's a close-up look at the signage. As you can see, oh, it's great. It's wonderful. It's going to look brilliant in the darkness hours. So let's have a look at the control tower. And there you can see modelled inside, and we've got two controllers. Let's pop inside. Well, unfortunately we can't pop inside. We get bumped up on the roof because access to the interior has not been allowed. However, we move a little closer. There you can see the detail inside. I mean, it's nice that it's been done. It's pity we can't go inside. But as you can see, the effect is good. We've got two controllers, some computer screens, and also the glass is slightly misted, which gives the right effect. And there's a quick view looking out over the ramp with the control tower to the right. Okay, let's go in through the terminal and have a look at some of the bits and pieces here. So here you can see we've got static passengers, which is nice. and there's some really good signage, which is really still fairly still readable even up close, which is excellent. So let's see if we can go inside. So yes, we can. There we are, a couple of people disappearing and walking. Nothing that side. So here we are inside the terminal ground level. As you can see, the building is constructed, but there's no internal modelling. So there's nothing in the features that mentioned about the modelling, so inside the terminal, so that's fine. So here we are out land side of the terminal, which really looks nice. The only problem is they've got the foliage issue here. This needs to be sorted out. It's coming out over the road. But once again, it looks quite nice from land side. Signage is pretty good up close, and you can see through the windows there what they've done is they've got parallaxing there, modelling the landside area on the other side of the glass. And once again, good signage, good modelling. The only things I'd like to see this sorted out. It doesn't look very good at all. It just needs to be fixed, really. So we take a little tour landside here. You can see the car park there to the right. Pity about the cars driving into that there, but there you go. But landside looks really nice. Nicely modelled. And again, you look to the left, you can see the parallaxing inside the terminal. I'm pretty certain that is just as it is. We'll go in a minute. Here you've got other people here. I think possibly this part of the terminal is developed. Not all of it is. But again, nice to see people out there with taxis. This is the sort of thing that brings an airport to life. It looks really nice. This is very good. I like it a lot. And everything as it should be here. It's all pertinent to this airport. They just need to sort out some of these foliage issues where you've got trees and foliage overhanging where really they shouldn't be. Here, for example, that needs to be sorted out. So just a quick look landside here. Not quite as detailed as you might think it would be, but it's okay. They've done as far as they want to do. That's fine. Okay, so let's go inside here and see if we can actually go inside. Let's see. Right, so we can go into this part. And we get bumped off to the roof there. So there you can see your subway. It's a high resolution photograph, and actually it works better the further away you are, but it's excellent. So we continue our tour in the landside part, just seeing where we can enter the terminal, because it looks like from our previous little look that there was some development here. But you know, this doesn't look too bad. They've not gone the whole hog, but I understand that. But this is fine. It's perfectly acceptable. So I'm just going to stop here. And here you can see we've actually got some landside development here. So I'm going to show you this overview here, because as you can see by this little bit of video, we're getting bumped up to the roof all over the place. They need to sort out this issues. To just fix the scenery so that we can actually see where we need to see. They've done this nice development here, but just going in there you just get bumped up to the roof all the time. So they need to look at the building issues and sort those out. But as you can see inside, it looks perfectly acceptable. Some nice signage, some passengers. We'll move along here and see if we can do it without being bumped. See what I mean? This is the problem they've got. I move back a little bit and I can do that. So just a little look in the other direction. And there we go. And there's a high level shot showing you airside from the terminal building area. Okay, so that was the daytime tour. We looked at the main areas that you need to be aware of, had a little look inside the terminals where we can. They need to sort those building issues out in order for us to do that properly. So let's turn the lighting down and have a look at dusk. Okay, 6:15 in the evening. As you can see, the sun is sinking there over the horizon. This is sunset, and here you can see the main airport terminal area. You've got green centerline lights, which we didn't see any during the day. Here you've got your blue airfield edge lights, and you've got some lighting down here as well, which actually doesn't look a lot, but then when you get closer, generally it looks better. There's the threshold of runway 19. Here's the coastline, and you've got lighting on the freeway here, and various buildings that you can see that have been worked on, parallaxing here and there to improve the look of it. And there we're looking towards the threshold of runway 01 up here, and here's the coastline, and you've got more hotels and things that have been worked on here. This is a lovely little area, to be honest. So let's get down to the ramp and have a look. Okay, so we'll start a slow tour. There you can see the green lights and the blue airfield edge lights. There's a lovely glow on those lights. I really like that. I'll just come this side so we can see the sign here. And there you can see excellently lit, no problem at all there. And we cross the ramp. As you see, turning off the runway is not going to be a problem. I do like the way these blue lights glow. It's very, very nice. And to be honest, having the traffic around is great. It just, again, it brings the airport to life. It's just a pity that they just linger on the runway, which can be a real problem if you're trying to land here. So we start our tour airside here of the ramp. So that building's pretty dark, as you can see. But the lighting's quite pleasant. It's all coming from the right sources. Unfortunately, you've got the Asobo globes there floating in the distance. And now you can see airside there, and you can see the people walking, and that's a really good effect. It looks good in the nighttime hours. It's really nice. I love the fact that we've got some people here on stand 5. It's good. It really does look nice. And we've got a few more people on stand 7 here. As we come up the other side, here you've got lighting inside the hangar. No obvious light source, but it still looks nice. Might be an idea, I think, to have those aircraft moved to one side so that this hangar could be used. Well, you can taxi a small plane in there, but you couldn't get anything else in there. So we go back across the runway to the other side and have a look at this other area here. I love the way these lights glow. It really does look nice. And these vehicles are excellent. You just wish that they wouldn't linger on the runway. Million Air, very nice. Fuel farm here. and tracking back across. So here we're on stand 5. Here's the view from the flight deck, which I think looks pretty realistic. I mean, that is a nice view. The lighting's very subtle. The interior of the aircraft looks great. This is the FENIX A320 version 2 Block 2, the latest version. Some very, very nice subtle lighting. It looks really good. And here you can see out through the cockpit, and you've got a very realistic view here. There's a view from the captain's side, and a view looking through the first officer's window. And for those of you who might be interested, there's a view from the passenger seat right over the main wing on the port wing. And there's the starboard wing. So just a very quick tour landside to have a look at the lighting here. It's a real pity you've got these Asobo glows floating all over the place. But you see some developers at the moment, they haven't yet developed the skills to be able to go into such detail to be able to remove them. I'm not casting any aspersions on FLY2HIGH. They're a good developer, and make no mistake, this is a lovely scenery, and many of their sceneries are really good. But there are one or two issues here that I need to point out, and we'll talk about them during my conclusion at the end of the video. But as you can see, in the darkness hours this airport does come to life. The lighting makes it really, really nice. So we pass across the roof of the main terminal, and you can see the detail on the roof is really good too. Let's have a look at the control tower. And once again, some internal lighting. The control tower looks really good. So let's just have a close look at these two hotel type buildings here landside before we go to night time. As you can see, work has been done on these buildings and various other off-airport buildings as described in the features. So this is parallaxing. Let's see how good it is. So from there it doesn't look too bad. I think personally it could have been done at a much higher detail. There are developers who do this really, really well, and hopefully FLY2HIGH are going to hone their skills and make this even better. So there's the building from the other side, and then down to the left there you can see the motorway. And there's a high level shot showing you the airport with the two hotels and various other bits and pieces taken from the sea, just looking towards the airport there. So that was the airport during dusk. As you can see, the sunset is rapidly diminishing. Let's pop it down to night time now and have a look at the ramp area. Okay, 10 PM in the evening local time. As you can see, the sun's gone, darkness is upon us. I like these lights, these blue airfield edge lights. I think the glow is a little too much. I don't know how whether they can turn that down, I don't know. Up close it doesn't look too bad, but here it looks a bit sort of cartoonish. But it's not really, it's just nitpicking really. Here you can see the main ramp area. It doesn't look bad at all, looks great. So let's get down to the ramp and have a look. Okay, you got your green centerline lights. They actually look a bit dark, but it should be enough. With your nose gear light should be fine. Coming in towards the stands now. And once again we have this nice effect here with the lighting, with the people walking around inside the terminal airside there. And it looks nice. No complaints at all. There's my aircraft. That looks great. Really does look nice. And here's one of the fire tenders we saw manoeuvring about. A very nice model. And once again, one more night shot looking out of the cockpit directly ahead. We're on stand 5. I like that view. There's not much to say about it. It looks pretty realistic. Really pleased with it. So let's move across the runway. There you can see the blue airfield ledge lights. The glow really is a bit overdone, but I don't know how that can be corrected. I'm not a developer. But again, it's just an observation, nothing more. So here's the other side. That little building there could have been done with being lit, but there we go. And looking in the other direction there. And just a high level shot there looking towards the city. Here you can see the line of hotels and things. So they've done some development off airport which could be really useful to explore. Okay, so that was night time. Let's bring the dawn up, and if all goes well, if I'm in the right position, the sun should come up behind me. Okay, 5 minutes to 6 in the morning, and there you can see the glow on the buildings as the sun comes up behind me. That's a beautiful time of day. Lights went out about 6 minutes ago, and yeah, that looks great. There's threshold of 01 in the distance there, and a threshold of runway 19, and you've got the highway there in the distance as well. And finally the sun comes up there in the east, and to the left you've got the string of hotels that we looked at before there. Okay, 7 AM local time, and time to wrap up this review and give you my conclusions. Do I think it's worth €17.99, or sort of just getting close to $20? It's maybe just a little bit too expensive. It's €18, I think it's nearer 16. Just a little bit too expensive, I think. But okay, in terms of the work that's been done, there's quite a lot that's been done here. They've done work on the hotels and buildings off airport. You've got all this coastline to explore. The ramp area has everything you need and really does look beautiful. Combine it with GSX, which is why I wanted to show you that bit of video at the beginning, and you've got a realistic, lovely airport that looks every bit the part. So yeah, I like it. I like it a lot. I think it is a little overpriced, but I only say a little overpriced. You have to accept that they've done quite a bit of work. The cons, okay, we need to look at the trees, look at the foliage, particularly landside of the terminal. There are small areas where the trees overhang into the road, and it doesn't look very good. But primary, the main issue for me is the inability to get into buildings, or when you've got into them, you're getting bounced about. When you looked at the interior to a landside there, you saw the number of times I got bounced up to the roof. The same is true of the control tower. I think they need to sort out a building access so that you don't run into those problems. Not just for sort of looking around in a video like this, but who knows what else in terms of building crashes might be sitting there waiting for an aircraft to run into. Not suggesting one moment that there is, but I haven't flown into this airport yet, and I fully intend to. So I don't know, for example, if you attempt a landing here, God forbid you should get a building crash. So the developer needs to revisit the building situation here all over the airport and just make sure that there are no building issues, blocking issues, or whatever you want to call them. So yeah, access to the terminal, blocking issues, and the control tower, and the foliage intruding here and there are the two main sort of glitches that bring to my attention that I've sort of seen. There's also quite a lot of Asobo globes floating around where probably there shouldn't be, but I'm not really going to complain about that. I believe that it's quite difficult and requires quite a bit of skill to be able to learn how to mask certain things that Asobo do here so that you can put your own spin on it, as it were. But I like it. I like the airport, I really do. is great, and it's time to fly in here as well. I shall bring the FENIX in here, and we certainly will test the ILS and have a look and see what it looks like, certainly at sunset. But here, 7 AM, it's a beautiful view, and yeah, may even use this for my thumbnail. But yeah, really nice. I've got no hesitation in recommending it. As I said, I think the price is a little bit high, but then look, if you bought scenery from FLY2HIGH before, get this on Simmarket and you'll get a discount. So there you go, Rafael Nunez International Airport in Cartagena in Colombia, Sierra Kilo Charlie Golf. This is a payware scenery by FLY2HIGH, version 0.1.0 for the PC version of Flight Simulator 2020. Downloads at 1.21 gig and installs at 2.5 gigs, 2.5 gigs. Available from a variety of vendors including Orbix, Anybuilds, FlightSim.to and Simmarket. Remember, Simmarket users, if you bought FLY2HIGH products before, then you could potentially get this at a discount. But the current Simmarket price, which includes tax by the way, €17.99, which equates to roughly $19.20 US, or £15.52 UK. Tax and VAT included at 20%, and be aware of course that tax and VAT in your country may be different. So there you go, lovely little airport, thoroughly recommend it. I like it a lot. Visually it's stunning. It's a really nice location, as you can see. FLY2HIGH, if you're watching this, I'd like you to revisit the building issues. I'd like you to go over the airport everywhere, and certainly make sure there are no building issues, certainly on that out in the landing area. And it'd be nice to have them removed for the terminal. Would have been nice for me to go right through the terminal and have a close look at things. But yeah, getting bounced about a lot, unfortunately. There is ripe for a bit more development here, but that's up to the developer whether or not they want to do that. It's lovely. I really like it a lot. So there you go. Thank you for joining me. That's the first review this week out of the way. Firstly, let me apologise for last week. Yeah, we had that bereavement, had a funeral to attend. I'm feeling a lot better about things now. Thank you again to all those people who supported me and sent me messages of condolences, and that was really much appreciated. While we're here, let's give you the poll results. Those of you who visit my channel saw that I put a poll up about whether or not you like music with or without in the video. It's basically as a result of a message I received from a guy called Paul. I won't identify him fully, but firstly, thanks Paul for bringing up the idea. It's always good for me to interact with people like that. The poll results, 44% said yes, 44% said no, and 12% didn't really have an opinion. So it's about 50-50. This video, as you'll have seen, I've left the music out. I'm just going to put the music in at the end and at the beginning, and we'll see. If you guys got any comments, then yeah, go ahead and make them. I converse with my viewers all the time. I respond to all comments where I can. And yeah, tell me what you really think. So stay tuned for the second review coming this week. We'll be looking at Pau Pyrenees Airport in France. A new payware scenery by France VFR. It's been out for a little while now actually. But again, another very pleasant scenery with a nice little helicopter surprise that I hadn't noticed until I looked at it. So stay tuned for that, and that's coming later this week. So thanks for joining me guys. This is Lee, your virtual airline pilot, saying thank you very much. And one more thing to note, those of you who watch my videos, be aware I am going to be in Las Vegas for the FLIGHTSIM EXPO event in the middle of June. I'm flying into LA, and I will be driving up to Las Vegas and staying at the RIO Hotel over that whole weekend. I'll probably bring the alternative uniform with me. So guys, if you are going to that event and you want to meet, let me know, give me an email or give me a shout, and I look forward to meeting you all. I will put a link to that website as well for those of you who thought about going or want to go and haven't yet made the choice. So take care folks, that's the end. I'll see you in the second video later this week. Bye bye for now.